I was standing in front of the realtor's office with the contract for my first apartment in my hands. 3 years of savings, every extra shift, every holiday worked. All for this moment. I just needed to transfer the $15,000 for the down payment. The same amount I'd loaned my mother 3 years ago when she said it was a medical emergency. I called her trembling with anticipation. Mom, I need you to give me back that money now. It's for the apartment down payment. The silence on the other end froze my blood. Then she said something that destroyed everything. After everything I did for you, I raised you for 18 years for free, gave you food, clothes, education, and you come to me demanding a measly 15 grand? My world collapsed. But what I didn't know yet was that that medical emergency never existed, and that my own mother had just stolen my biggest dream. My name is Fernanda. I'm 37 years old, and I've worked as a nurse for 15 years. I was always the good daughter, the responsible one, the one who solved the family's problems. My brother Ricardo, 3 years younger, was always mommy's favorite. He never had to help financially with anything. 3 years ago, on a Thursday night, my mother called me crying desperately. Fernanda, I urgently need $15,000. It's a surgery that insurance won't cover. If I don't do it now, it could turn into cancer. My heart raced. Surgery? Cancer? I had exactly $23,000 saved after 5 years of saving every penny. It was my dream of having my own apartment, but it was my mother. Of course I would help. I transferred the money that same day. She promised she'd pay me back in 6 months when she received her year-end bonus and some savings. 6 months turned into a year turned into 2. Every time I delicately mentioned the subject, she changed the conversation or said I was insensitive for charging a sick mother. But here's the detail. I never saw any scars, never accompanied her to any appointments. When I asked about the recovery, she was vague. Oh, it was fine. It's over now. It took me 3 more years to save up again. I met Daniel, my fiancé, who helped me save. I worked at 3 hospitals simultaneously. Finally, we reached $45,000 to put down on a 2-bedroom apartment in the neighborhood I'd always dreamed of. We just needed to recover that $15,000 my mother owed me. With that, we'd have the $60,000 needed to close the deal. I never imagined my own mother would throw in my face the fact that she raised me. I hung up the phone in shock. My hands were shaking so much I dropped my cell phone on the realtor's office floor. The realtor looked at me worried. Are you okay? Were you able to confirm the transfer? How could I explain that my mother had just denied me a loan that was my money? I left there unable to say anything coherent, just mumbling that I needed a few more days. In the car, Daniel found me in tears. She said she raised me for 18 years for free, that I'm ungrateful for asking. My voice came out broken between sobs. How does a mother do this to her daughter? Daniel held my hands. Honey, this isn't normal. She borrowed your money. You're not asking for a favor. You're getting back what's yours. But the guilt had already installed itself in my chest like a parasite. What if she was right? What if I really was ungrateful? Maybe children should pay for the years they were raised. Maybe I was being selfish. I spent the night awake, turning over every word. The next morning, I decided to try again, but calmly. I went to her house, brought her favorite cake. I would try to talk like adults. Mom, I understand your point, but you promised to pay me back. I need that money now. It's not a whim, it's my future. She was in the kitchen having coffee and didn't even look up. Fernanda, you've always been dramatic. I don't have that money right now. I invested in some things. What things? My tone came out harder than I intended. That's none of your business. I'm an adult. I do what I want with my money. Your money? I felt the anger rising. It was my money, Mom. You borrowed it. She finally looked at me and her eyes were cold. Oh, now you're all righteous. Forgot that when you were 19 and unemployed, you lived here 6 months for free? Forgot I paid for your college? You didn't pay for my college. I did it with student loans and paid every installment. The words came out like explosions. And when I lived here, I cleaned the whole house, cooked, took you to doctors. Ungrateful daughter. She got up from her chair. I can't believe you're treating me like this. After everything, I gave up my life for you and your brother. Mom, nobody asked you to give up anything. You chose to have children, and I'm asking you back for what's mine. I left there shaking with nerves. I texted Ricardo telling him everything. It took him hours to respond. Sis, I don't know what to say. Mom has these things. Better let it go. Let it go? $15,000? Years of work? The following week was hell. She spread it to aunts, cousins, neighbors that I was charging her, that I was a heartless daughter. My phone wouldn't stop receiving messages. Your mother is so sad. How can you do this to the one who raised you? Money isn't more important than family. Nobody asked for my version. Nobody wanted to know it was my money. I lost the apartment. The realtor couldn't wait any longer. Another family closed the deal. I cried for 3 straight days. Daniel tried to console me, but the pain was too deep. It wasn't just the apartment. It was the betrayal. It was realizing my mother was capable of destroying my dream without blinking. 2 weeks later, I was on shift when Ricardo called me. His voice was strange. "Sis, are you working? I need to tell you something in person." My heart froze. Did something happen to Mom? No, it's about Mom, but we better talk in person. It's important. We met at a cafe near the hospital. When I arrived, Ricardo had an expression I'd never seen, a mix of anger and guilt. I didn't know, sis. I swear to God I didn't know. He put his phone on the table. Yesterday I went to her house and she left, forgot her phone. A notification came through and I saw it by accident. It was from the luxury furniture store. My stomach turned. What? She remodeled the whole house, sis. Complete living room, custom kitchen, 3 new TVs, even the garden. Spent over $40,000 in the last 2 years. He showed me the photos. I went investigating, found the invoices in a drawer, the date of the first purchase, 2 months after you loaned her the money. The world spun, the surgery, the emergency, everything was a lie. There was never any surgery, was there? My voice came out as a whisper. Ricardo shook his head with tears in his eyes. I called Dr. Mendez, her doctor. There was no surgery in the last 5 years, only routine appointments. The pain I felt was physical. A stab in the chest. My mother, the woman who gave me life, deceived me, stole my dreams, to buy sofas, TVs. There's more. Ricardo was shaking. She did it because she was jealous. The neighbor had remodeled, and she couldn't stand having a simpler house. She told me this one day, thought it was funny. Just didn't mention she used your money. I couldn't breathe. The cafe was packed, but all I heard was a ringing in my ears. Years of work. Sleepless nights. Double shifts. All so she could have a living room nicer than the neighbors. She was never going to pay you back, sis. Ricardo held my hand. She doesn't have the money anymore. Spent it all. And in her head, you really do owe her for raising you. She told Aunt Celia this yesterday. Fernanda wants to charge me some change when I gave her a whole life. She can figure it out herself. Something broke inside me at that moment. It wasn't anger, it was clarity. I finally saw who my mother really was. A manipulator who used the title of mother as a shield for all abuses. Ricardo, can you send me all this evidence? He hesitated. What are you going to do? What I should have done 3 years ago. I'm going to sue our mother. His face went pale. Sis, are you sure? The whole family will come down on you. They already have. And do I care? These same people never helped me with anything. Never defended me. They only show up to judge. I got up, grabbing my purse. Send me everything. Invoices, dates, messages, everything. I support you. Ricardo also stood up. I'm sorry, sis. I should have noticed before. I was always the easy son, the one who never demanded anything. And you were always the one who solved everything. It's not fair. I hugged my brother for the first time in years. It's not your fault. But I need you to support me now, because it's going to get ugly. He nodded. You can count on me. I looked for a lawyer the next day. Dr. Augusto listened to everything and sighed. Look, suing your mother is always emotionally complicated, but you have a solid case. It was a verbal loan, but you have the bank transfers, messages from her promising to return it, and now proof that she lied about the reason. I can file a collection lawsuit. How long does it take? 6 months to a year. And prepare yourself. Your mother will play victim. She'll cry in court. She'll say she's being sued by her own daughter. Let her cry. My voice was firm. She stole 3 years of my life. Destroyed my dream. All to have a nice house. I don't care anymore about anyone's opinion. We filed the lawsuit the following week. The lawsuit dropped like a bomb on the family. My mother did exactly what the lawyer predicted. Cried, played victim, said she was being persecuted by her cruel daughter. Aunts called me screaming. Cousins blocked me. Even people I hadn't talked to in years appeared to call me inhumane. But something changed. I didn't care anymore. Daniel and Ricardo supported me unconditionally. Some true friends too. And that was enough. The hearing was 2 weeks ago. My mother arrived in black, as if she were in mourning. She cried when she said she raised a snake that now sued her. The judge listened to everything in silence. When it was my turn, I presented the evidence: bank transfers, messages promising repayment, conversations with the doctor confirming there was no surgery, and the invoices from the remodel. Each paper I put on the table, I saw her face changing color. The judge asked a direct question. "Mrs. Marlene, did the surgery you claimed as an emergency really exist?" Silence. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. "Ma'am?" The judge insisted. I needed the house. The neighbor had. Her voice disappeared when she realized what she had just admitted. The ruling came out yesterday. She has 6 months to pay me back the $15,000 with interest, which is now $19,500. If she doesn't pay, the household goods can be seized. The judge also said a phrase that marked me: motherhood is not carte blanche for embezzlement. Raising a child is a legal obligation, not a bargaining chip. I left the courthouse holding hands with Daniel. I didn't feel victory. I felt peace. Yesterday, we found another apartment. Smaller, farther away. But it's ours. I'm putting down the deposit next week with the money I saved again this past year. My mother won't be at the housewarming party. And that's okay. Because I finally understood, real family isn't about blood. It's about who stays when things get tough. And my real family was with me all along.